We are live. Welcome to Near Mint Condition segment called Old Reader, New Reader. We're trying out the StreamYard service today as opposed to our Hangouts because they're doing away with Hangouts. So hopefully we were able to get some of you all to get notifications to know that we are live. But we are live. And in case you don't see us live, hello. This is a little weird, but let me see if I can do it. This is my
I know.
co-host.
Yeah, I had some trouble with that in my other show on Sunday. I was trying to point that
Yeah,
way,
it's like
and it was
mirrored,
hard.
right?
Um,
It's like
hey, you
that's
guys.
that's Maddie.
I like it like this, though, because then we can see both of us the whole time, you know?
You can't see me making faces though. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that I can't make faces. Okay. So, I don't know if we're live because I don't see any notifications on my phone where I usually see them.
We are live because I have the video up.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes.
So, you are the only one watching then. But that's okay. That's okay. I hope somebody gets notifications. So for those of you that get notifications, if you don't, like I said, you can watch it later. So today we are talking about this book right here. God bless America. This book right here. This is Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. This is the original Secret Wars. This is known as the very first superhero crossover event. Basically, because how do I put it? So there was toys being made of movies and things like that, and a toy company was interested in making toys of Marvel characters. And then the toy company backed out and decided to make DC superhero characters. So then another toy company came around and said, "Hey, we'd like to make some characters out of, or some toys out of your characters, out of the big characters." So Marvel decided to do a big story about it. So the purpose of this was so that Marvel could sell toys. And they made it into an event, and it is known before DC. I mean, yes, there was crossovers before with the JSA and the JLA, and there were crossovers before within the books of Marvel, but nothing like this. This was the first maxi series where all the characters were pitted together in Battle World. And 12 issues. And a lot of things happen within the pages here. Now, what's interesting is that while they happened here, since this was a 12-issue event, that means that a year went by. But in regular Marvel time, things were already happening. Like, for example, spoilers, by the way, if you've never seen our show, the Fantastic Four, Ben Grimm was missing, and She-Hulk had taken his place. And in order to find out what happened to Ben Grimm, you must read Secret Wars, book number 12. The same thing with Amazing Spider-Man. Out of nowhere, he got a black suit in Amazing Spider-Man. And in order to find out where he got it, you have to read this. And that book didn't come out till a couple months later. Same thing with Fantastic Four. Same thing with X-Men. The X-Men went missing. It became a couple of like Kitty Pryde and Phoenix, the remaining X-Men, for a couple months, and then Colossus came back and was like, "I was in love." Sorry, Kitty. So let's talk about this book. Um, really quick, the synopsis is pretty damn simple. It is basically this being known as the Beyonder gathers up all these villains and superheroes from Earth 616 and to pit them together against each other in what is known as Battle World. And the winner gets all their dreams come true.
Yeah.
That's the
No real,
prize.
no real specifics, just.
No, not at all. And that's practically it. It is a big brawl fest. Issue after issue, it's the good guys versus the bad guys, then the bad guys versus the bad guys, then the good guys versus the good guys. There's a lot of trust things. There's a lot of things in here, like, it's interesting because while some of these characters have met before, some of them, like the Avengers and X-Men, had worked together, but they don't really know each other that well mean, Captain America calls Cyclops kid, and it's interesting to see that dynamic of all these characters. And Spider-Man doesn't really play that big of a role, other than, hey, I found a ball, and it's my new costume. Cool. I guess I'll accept that. But yeah, it was just a big brawl. We don't really get to see the entity known as the Beyonder. He doesn't show up until Secret Wars 2. It's just this omnipotent being that is usually drawn as like a beam of light, right? Like a big ball of light.
Mhm.
And then uh, what I did, there were aspects of this book that I did enjoy, though. There were some things that stood out. One of them was Doom.
Yeah, Doom was
Doom,
good.
Doom
I feel
just
like Doom shines in like big crossover events like these.
right, and very similar to what happened in the Secret Wars from 2000 and when was that? 2013, 14, 15, whenever that happened. The Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars, where he gets these godlike powers because he ends up reaching the Beyonder and is able to destroy him and gain his powers. So that was pretty interesting how that happened.
Yeah, so this book.
Yeah, why don't you talk a little bit about it, Maddie? I kind of gave a brief synopsis.
Yeah, so this really just felt like a big old jarbled mess of things to me.
Okay, jarbled mess.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I mean, Doom was cool. There's that. But honestly, I just felt like I could see why this was made to sell toys because it didn't feel like there was any real story or motivation behind a lot of things that happened. Like they were like, we want this, so we'll just figure out how to get there a lot of times. And I think, Spider-Man's new suit is a perfect example. It was just random and had no point. Oh, I found this. Cool. That had a reason to be here. And then Spider-Woman showing up also just felt pointless. And sometimes I feel like characters would show up out of nowhere. I was like, what happened? When did this happen? When did Doom find these two women out of nowhere? Okay. And I just felt like, I don't know, it was too much action without enough reason. And I didn't feel like the character's motivation made a lot of sense. A lot of times everyone was fighting all the time against each other. It's like, okay, I don't really get what you're doing here. And then everyone's head hurt all the time, right? So everybody kept complaining, oh, my head hurts. Oh, there's this.
Mm-hmm.
But then there wasn't any explanation why. I kept waiting for this big, like, this is the reason. This is like this. And it didn't happen unless I missed something. There was something else that bothered me too. I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh, and I think this is of the time. Because I understand that they probably wanted people to come into this book thinking, okay, I'm going to learn about everyone. So even if you don't know anything about these characters, you should be able to go in and know who they are and their names, exactly what they do. But I think reading it now in 2019, I was like, okay.
Yeah, we didn't have Wikipedia back then.
Chill out. I get it, Molecule Man. I get it. You changed molecules. You didn't have to tell me anything else. You don't have to over-describe every action you do. I understand. Now listen, this cart is flying because I changed the molecules around it to air molecules. I don't care. I don't care. You didn't have to tell me again. Everyone is over explaining everything at all times and announcing their names all the time. And it's so annoying.
It's a different it definitely was a different way of writing, and the way that I always took it was, okay, this is supposed to be a way of introducing these characters to people that are collecting toys, kind of in the way that the Transformers comic was supposed to work when Jim Shooter and all the Bob Budiansky were writing the book. They had no idea who these characters were, so they kind of gave them backgrounds and powers and things like that. So when kids went to buy the toys, they could relate to the comic book. I think that's what this was. There were characters. There were toys of Doctor Doom. There were toys of Captain America, and it was kind of like reintroducing those kids to those toys. That's the way I always took it. But the 80s and the 70s were written very much like that. There were some pretty interesting moments in here. I think one of my favorite moments was the Captain America and Wolverine speech. By the way, I absolutely love this cover. I wish Terry Austin had inked the entire event, and sadly he did not. So this is Mike Zeck, wonderful on art, with Terry Austin inking it. But it was usually John Beatty that inked it. But I like the whole Captain America and Wolverine talking about, this being of omnipotent power and things like that. And then Wolverine is like, I'm starting to really like Magneto's way of thinking about why everyone is separated and why, he doesn't trust humanity, because he compared it to, this part right here. He compared it to Nazis. So that was a pretty interesting comparison, because that's the way mutants were treated at the time.
Absolutely.
So yes, Doctor Doom was able to get the Beyonder's power, and the very first things he does is restore his beautiful face. So then we get this good-looking dude and Doctor Doom. Then let's see what else happens within the issues that I found pretty interesting. Yeah, you're right. Julia just kind of appears. Spider-Woman. And she was like,
everyone's also suspicious of her too. Like Iron Man's like, she's not really talking that much. I'm a little suspicious of her. It's just kind of odd. And again, leads nowhere.
Right. And man, like it was pretty interesting to see it all just come about too, like how these characters. I remember thinking about it differently when I was a kid. Like I'm like, oh, I remember when Spider-Woman appeared. She was in this epic battle, and she kind of just appeared and was like, she threw a rock, and everybody's like, wow, she's super strong. And Spider-Man's like, I kind of dig her costume. Maybe I can make costumes like that. And then you get the character of what is her name, Saji.
Oh,
the alien that Johnny Storm has a thing with. Johnny Storm's kind of a straight up douchebag too, because he's like, you want to go necking, right? Is that what that means? I don't speak alien, but I assume you want to go make out, because I'm Johnny fucking Storm and you're a chick. And why aren't your panties dropping yet?
Because she heals him and she heals Colossus, and after she heals both of them, they fall in love with her. So we're led to assume that something about her healing powers creates this like attraction and love for her. But plot hole, she cures the Wasp. The Wasp doesn't fall in love. What is this?
She was also in Death's Door too, because everybody was like, "Oh, damn it, the Wasp died. That kind of sucks." And then, man, it was just interesting because Johnny Storm was in love with this chick at first, maybe. Nobody really knows. Probably not. And then Colossus came around and he was like, oh, man, I need to stop thinking about her. I know she just healed me, but she's so beautiful. And I was just thinking about Kitty Pryde the whole time. But this chick is so much hotter. Maybe I got a chance. Because, Johnny is like, doesn't have any time to think about her. Yeah, that was kind of a douchebag thing to do. Like, Colossus is like, Johnny, Saji's been hurt. He's like, dude, the world's ending. I don't have any time to think about chicks.
It just
thought that was pretty interesting.
God, that part just didn't feel genuine. I'm sure they had an end game there, and they're like, okay, well, listen, things are going too well with Colossus and Kitty. Let's put this guy or this girl in there and then mess it all up. Okay.
Oh, I will say that the ramifications of this really is what I enjoyed most about Secret Wars, or the things that followed Secret Wars, like the stories. What's going on, Mario? I don't even know how you found us. Apparently the stream isn't showing up on anybody's regular feed. I was trying to figure out why, because I don't even see it popping up on my phone. So you are correct. Most people are probably going to end up watching this after we're done with the live feed, which
Yeah, it looks like there might be an error too, because like by the subscribe button, it just says 0.
what? It
Because normally
does?
subscribers, yeah, it does not do that. Because I'm on my regular account, not on Near Mint.
Okay, so you're on your regular account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it at all, which that kind of sucks. Because yeah, it's not on the news feed at all. Which we're testing the waters with something new. We're testing the waters with this. So I don't know how you found us, but thanks, man. Oh, you used the Facebook link. Awesome. Well, I'm glad I posted that then. Huh. Yep, same thing. No subs, only 2 videos. Oh shit.
Oh, is it on the beta account?
It might be the beta account. That's not good. All right. Hang tight. I'm going to end the broadcast. Down to a bitch. How is that not working? All right, Mario, since you were one of our 3 listeners, besides Maddie and I, thank you so much for watching. I have no idea where this is going to end up. So let's try this again. I'm going to end the broadcast. I'm going to try this again. Motherfucker. Maddie, I may end up calling you.
Yeah, that's fine.